visit them at Westside Decorating Center. And if you have any questions about paint and wallpaper, a week from tomorrow, Mike Stoddard will join us from Westside Decorating to answer those questions for you. And a good morning. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show. We're going to spend some time this hour talking about the Midland Center for the Arts and all the programming they have over there. You just heard during the news about their subscriptions, and we're going to find out more about it this morning because from the MCFTA, we welcome Josh Holliday. Josh, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Oh, more than welcome, more than welcome. So, we could talk about what we just heard in the news about the subscriptions that are available. But I think we need a lot more than an hour to talk about all the things that are happening at the Midland Center for the Arts. And all of this is happening during Reconstruction, isn't it?
It sure is. It's an exciting time here at the center for both our current season, where we have some presentations still coming up in the next 2 months, but then also with next season. But in the midst of all of that, we are certainly planning for the future and future generations as we continue to transform our building with bold innovation and bold renovations that are going to be really a game changer for the region and for the state.
Let me ask, Josh, did this all come about because of the dam failures and the flood, or was this going to happen anyway?
That's a great question, Art. We, as an institution, we're looking at the museum and in which direction we would continue to go moving forward in the years ahead. So the organization was really looking at ways in which we could bring new energy to the museum, but then also bringing it back to some of its original glory in what the true intention was behind Alden B. Dow when he created our building and the exhibitions. And so those conversations were happening and the plans were, being developed. But then when the flood came in, it certainly made us have to pause because, we saw immense damage to our buildings. But then it allowed us to figure out what could our plans be in the face of the damage and the flood, and where do we go, and what do we want our future to look like. So is very much a part of that process and part of that story, but certainly was part of the visioning that was happening in the organization to move us forward.
And so where are we in the reconstruction? I mean, how much more is there to do?
Yeah, that's a great question, too. So we are currently under construction for our wing right now that will have conference and community spaces as well as some offices. And then they just started construction this month on the Hall of Ideas, as we all know it, the primary museum exhibit space. And they're working on that now, and you're going to see so much more dust in our building. But we just ask everybody to just bear with us, and our doors will remain open for performances and other activities through art, science, and history over the next year and a half. But we are certainly under construction in the museum. We are working with international experts on developing the experience inside the museum, because we know that's the most important, right? When we reopen, people are really going to be interested into how they can explore art, science, and history in this new museum. So we are working with an international team on these experiences, hands-on experiences. And so that is all underway right now. And you'll notice that when you come to our building, there's lots of construction underway. Pardon our dust, but it's going to be really exciting come the end of 2026. How
much of that construction was delayed because of the extensions for the Infinite display?
The Infinite did not necessarily delay our construction process. The Infinite was an intentional project that we wanted to do to get people excited about what the future of the museum would be.
Oh, wow.
While we were continuing to finish some of the other necessary planning that needed to be underway for the construction and as part of our capital campaign, we really wanted to bring an experience that would shed a light for our community into what you can experience in a new museum. And so experiences like the Infinite we will be able to have. And they won't always be the Infinite. There will be other touring exhibitions, but some of the new experiences that will be, a household item in our museum will be able to have the similar interactivity that you might enjoy that explores art and science and using technology in innovative ways to do so.
Well, I got to tell you, in my entire life, and I've been around 82 years, I never experienced anything like the Infinite. And I have virtual reality goggles in my house, and I have a good computer and everything. Never experienced anything like it. It was probably one of the finest exhibits I ever went through.
It really was exceptional, and we heard that from the community. The community loved it, and we were so grateful that we were able to bring that to Midland. If you really look at it, there wasn't a facility within hundreds of miles of us that had that, and that is what our competitive advantage is here at the center. We're able to introduce experiences in the Great Lakes Bay region that you're not going to be able to get other places. And so with this museum, we really hope that we can put the region on the map in addition to all the great things we have going on for our ability to be innovative and celebrate creativity in the intersection between art and science. And that's our role, and we know that experiences like the Infinite and the future exhibitions we'll have and the new museum that we will have are all part of that in making sure that people know that Midland and the Great Lakes Bay region are a great place to call home. They're a great place to visit. And so we're really proud to.
Are there other interactive experiences like the Infinite out there? Did the producer of the Infinite have other programs?
There certainly are. There are producers, and in the industry, in our industry, in arts and entertainment, interactive and immersive theater and art and technology is on the cusp and is the buzzword and the thing that everyone's talking about, right?
Right.
And so experiences like the Infinite are being developed constantly. There's conferences that are showcasing, different experiences like that you can bring to your performing arts center. We're really grateful that we have a space that's conducive to introducing, these types of immersive experiences. And so that's part of the intention behind it. And so you'll definitely be seeing more of them. They might not always be space. They might not always be exactly like the Infinite, because that really is a top of the line, exceptional experience. But there are others that are being developed like it, and I think in the years ahead you will see even more that we will be able to bring to Midland Center for Art.
All right, I'm going to take a break. Then we'll come back and talk about current programming and future programming at the Midland Center for the Arts. We're talking to Josh Holliday. We'll be back with him after these notes. Let me start by talking about Krizak's House Family Restaurant. Best place to go for your authentic home-cooked foods with a European flair at reasonable prices. Now's the time to think about getting together with friends and family for lunch or dinner, as well as events coming up. Graduations, confirmations, weddings, showers, anniversaries. Krizak's has an economical way for you to supply the food. You can order what you want in Polish and American foods, then just pick it up at the restaurant ready to go. Or have your celebration right there at the restaurant. Don't forget, at a moment's notice, Krizak's can help. Give them a call at 989-894-5531, 894-5531. Krizak's House Family Restaurant, corner of Cass in Michigan, on Bay City's south side.
Jim Wilson, I see the
Beatles. The show's called Rain, and there are still some tickets available if people are interested. But this is a fantastic show, lots of color, all of your favorite songs from the Beatles that this group will play. And so that's going to be a great show. It's very theatrical and very fun. So that'll be tonight. We also have this weekend 3 performances of Stomp. So if you've never seen Stomp before, they think household items and trash cans and carts and brooms, and it is this percussive exploration of these household and items laying around your house that they use as instruments, and it is thrilling to watch. It's really exciting. It's all rhythm, dance, movement, and so we have 3 performances of that this weekend. That will be great.
All right.
But then, We have a couple other things. We have a couple other things coming up in the next about 6 weeks. In a few weeks, we will have Ain't Too Proud. It's the Broadway National Tour that is the life and story of the Temptations. So for us here in Michigan, Motown and the Temptations are, in our backyard and something we're very proud of. And so this is a great Broadway National Tour that tells their story, their entire story of the group. And so it's a great show. I've seen it several times, and I love it. Would highly recommend it. So we'll have that for 3 performances starting May 20th. And to celebrate more artists that have been legendary in our history and on airwaves, we will be having the Broadway National Tour of Tina, the Tina Turner.
Oh, really?
That will be coming June 20th. And so it goes through Tina's story from being a little girl to, being the icon that we know her and love and celebrate her for today. So all great performances coming up. We have many things that are on our stages on a regular basis. And you can always find information about what's coming up here at Midland Center for the Arts at midlandcenter.org.
So very good. That takes care of the current season. So let's look ahead. Now let's start. I want to start with the subscription packages because there are a variety of them, aren't there? There
are. We have several series that you can be a subscriber for, and those include our Broadway series. So we have 4 shows in our Broadway series. Our Midland Symphony Orchestra, which this year is actually celebrating its 90th season. Can you believe that, Art?
Wow.
Yes, a huge milestone that we're so proud to celebrate this year. You can be a subscriber for our orchestra as well. Center Stage Theater, this is our locally produced community theater. We are so proud of the productions they put on. People in our community actually star in these performances, and so there are also 4 productions as part of Center Stage Theater. And then there's 2 other series that you can subscribe to, and those are Matrix Midland and Windows on Our World. And both of these series, we bring artists and touring productions from around the world and around the country to come here to Midland to bring the greatest entertainment and artistic excellence to our stage.
Let me ask, I want to jump ahead a little bit to Matrix Midland, because when I arrived here in the 70s and up and through, I don't know how many years ago, Matrix Midland was always concentrated like May and June, it seemed to me. And it would be a variety series of different types of performances. It's still around as Matrix Midland, but it's now moved all over the map, hasn't it?
It has. But we really are proud that the series itself and the performances as part of Matrix are still pushing boundaries across science, storytelling, and art. So Matrix, although maybe isn't congested into a shorter period of time, like when you recall art, we still are proud that those presentations are pushing boundaries and letting us explore and discover, very interesting works in the same way.
So it's still Matrix Midland, just spread out over a longer period of time.
That's correct.
All right. So let's see. Symphony. What's coming up with the Symphony Orchestra?
Yeah, we are going to actually have a number of exceptional guest artists this year, actually beginning with our opening night concert, where we're going to be doing the Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto with guest artist Adrian Anatowan. And he actually was here last night for folks that came to our season reveal event. He's an incredible violin artist, and he will be performing on stage as our guest artist. And then Holiday Pops, that is a staple in our area to celebrate the holiday season. Really gets you, some people really consider that as like the moment when the holidays are here, right? And we always like to have a featured artist, and so we are going to have Broadway star Ariel Jacobs here for that festive, high-energy holiday celebration. Ariel Jacobs has been in Broadway in 4 Broadway shows, actually. She's been Jasmine in Disney's Aladdin. She's been in Wicked. She originated a role in Here Lies Love, and has an incredible roster of orchestras that she's performed with as a solo artist around the globe. And then a couple other exciting performances that we're going to have coming up as part of the series. we're calling Cosmic Cycles. If you loved The Infinite and you've loved our previous performances with the Midland Symphony Orchestra as we explore imagery of space and exploration, Cosmic Cycles is going to be a wonderful concert for you. It's a visually stunning performance with NASA imagery and exploring the universe through music. So that one will be great. And then, Art, I'm sure you know, but in 2026, it is America's 250th birthday.
You betcha.
And so we are going to be celebrating that as part with the Midland Symphony Orchestra in a concert called Sound of Independence. And it's really a program inspired by America's founding. And we're going to be featuring a pianist, Amiri Harewood. That's going to be our guest artist for that concert. And then we at Midland Center really love to celebrate, the artists here in Michigan. And so we are going to have a concert at the end of the season called Homegrown. It's our season finale. It includes, a world premiere from a Michigan-based composer.
Sounds like fun for the orchestra.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to community theater.
Yeah, so Center Stage Theater is, as I mentioned, these are productions produced by our friends and neighbors, and there's so much passion around these. So we have 4 fantastic productions coming up next season. Sense and Sensibility. It's a sharp, witty Jane Austen adaptation, but it brings romance and humor to the stage. We're also going to have A Raisin in the Sun. It's a powerful American classic about, family, dreams, resilience. And then along the same lines of America's 250th birthday, we are doing the musical 1776. And so it's a fresh take on the Tony-winning musical and intentionally timed around America's founding. And we're going to be doing that in partnership with the Midland County Historical Society. And so that partnership will be really great as we, really celebrate Midland's history, America's history, and then come together for those shared experiences in the hall for 1776. And then we are ending our season for Center Stage Theater with Shakespeare's, magical comedy, A Midsummer Night Dream.
Busy season. Can you hang on?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to take a break, and we'll be back talking to Josh from the Midland Center for the Arts, and more to talk about when we return.
Oh, here's one.
All right, we're back with you. We're talking to Josh Holliday from the Midland Center for the Arts. Looking at some of the other things, Josh, we've touched on them, but tell us about Windows on Our World and what that's all about.
Yeah, Windows on Our World is a series that we intentionally booked to bring artists from, as it says in the title, all around the world and give you new perspectives and exploring, art forms that you maybe don't see here in our backyard always. And so Windows on Our World, we're really excited about this series, starting off with Sweet Honey in the Rock. They're a Grammy-nominated vocal ensemble rooted in Black history and social justice. We're also going to have Scaryvore. They're a high-energy Celtic rock who blends Scottish folk with modern rhythms. And this one is going to be very exciting, very high energy. It's going to be great. We're also going to have Drum Tao. It's an electrifying Japanese taiko drumming and choreography group. It's going to be great. It's called Drum Tao. And what I love about this group is it is both rhythmically stimulating and interesting to listen to, but their performance visually is captivating. And so it's going to be a really exciting performance that'll be coming to the center next year.
And when is that?
The exact day is in the spring. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, that's all right. No, that's all right. But it's that far off, so it's a year away.
Yes. Yep. And you can subscribe to the Windows on the World series, and you would actually get all 4 of these like a season ticket. And our final performance as part of that series is an artist that does soulful, multicultural blend of pop, jazz, and world music, and her name is Alicia Brilla. And that is going to be wrapping together those 4 performances in that series in a great way just to explore art forms from around the world.
All right, I want to go back to where we started, actually, and talk about the construction going on. Do we have a date to, cut the ribbon on the new facility when it's finished?
It's a great question, Art. We don't have the exact date that we are going to cut the ribbon, but we are really hopeful and looking at, by the end of 2026, that we can be welcoming people into the building after our construction is complete.
So it's down the road then. This is a lot of work, isn't it? It's more than just a little remodel here and there.
It sure is. I will tell you, every day I come into the office, it's exciting to hear the sounds and all of the things underway and the progress that's being made. And although end of 2026 does sound really far away, I promise you, you will blink and it will be here before you know it.
Unfortunately, that's true. It's fortunate and unfortunate, depending how you look at it.
Exactly.
So when the new museum is done, how are we going to recognize it? How different is it from what we've seen before?
That's a great question as well, because we are being very intentional in doing a lot of research and going back to what Alden B. Dow's original vision was for the Hall of Ideas and the museum. In his vision, you have these 3 rings in the Hall of Ideas. And over time, we have added, in our history, added many other exhibits and things that allowed you to not see those 3 rings as clearly. And so as we are planning for what the exhibit and the experience is going to be, we are bringing back Alden's original vision, where those 3 rings, those architectural rings, will be very visible, similar to how it was when we first opened. There will obviously be new technology, new experiences, hands-on experiences, but those 3 rings architecturally were very important to his vision. And so we're really excited to bring that back and to celebrate that. And that's a really intentional piece that we're focused on. So although it will be new and different, we are bringing it back to some of that original glory that he intended. And he also intended for the museum to evolve and change over time, and that it wouldn't always be stagnant or the same. And so we're really proud to be focused on how can we celebrate him and the true intentions and visionary intentions he had when he built this building many, many years ago.
Most of the work being done on the upper floors?
Yes, there is work being done on the upper floors as well. That 4th floor, which is above those 3 rings in the Hall of Ideas, there is a number of things that are happening. One, it is a open canvas for us to have touring exhibitions and interactive experiences. So, Art, I know you'll be very excited about that, because that is the space where things such as the Infinite will be able to be, or experiences similar to that. And so on that 4th floor is where we'll have touring exhibits that will bring people back time and time again, because there will always be a new thing that you can experience in the museum. But in addition, there are other exhibition spaces and rooms that are on that 4th floor. So that is where we will have art exhibitions, where we can feature artists from, around the world and locally in those galleries. We'll also have space there for exhibitions around Midland County history. And so how do we celebrate that? And what is the connection between art, science, and history, between these art exhibitions, these science and hands-on experiences, and the things that are happening and retelling of stories through Midland County history? And so that is what you'll see on the 4th floor. And don't forget that below the Hall of Ideas, there is a lower level of our building that has previously been some classroom and smaller rehearsal spaces. That whole space is being transformed into an additional level that we're calling the Hall of Innovation, that will allow us to explore other elements of STEM in that lower level, which will be an additional space to explore within the museum.
Wow. All right, I want to hold you on for one more segment. I want to talk about memberships and the like when we return. We're talking to Josh Holliday from the Midland Center for the Arts, and we'll have more ahead.
For 20 years, New Finish has been your...
Of course.
So let's talk a little bit about memberships, because the Midland Center for the Arts has always had them, hasn't it?
Yes, we have. We have opportunities for you to subscribe, which is similar to a season ticket, It's the same as a season ticket. So you can, plan your nights ahead for the year and join us for all of these series. But we also are a nonprofit, and so we have memberships as well where you can provide a donation to support our work and the efforts that we do in the community.
And does the membership grant you anything, or is it simply support for the organization?
Yeah, there's a large mix of benefits for being a donor and supporting our work, and you can find all that information on our website at midlandcenter.org.
Which used to be mcfta.org. I had that emblazoned in my brain, and then you changed it.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, we, as part of our continued efforts to just make sure that as new visitors and new members come to our city and move here, we switched to Midland Center, so in that way it made it extra clear so that nobody had to figure out what our acronym may be.
So let's let's go back to what's forthcoming and what's going to be very, very near future, for the next couple of weeks, for example, just to refresh everybody.
Well, we have a couple of Broadway shows that are still coming this season. So this weekend we have the Broadway National Tour of Stomp. We have the Broadway National Tour of Ain't Too Proud, The Life of the Temptations here in just a couple of weeks. And then we have Tina, the Tina Turner musical. But you can also look forward to coming to see Broadway in our season in 25-26, which we just announced yesterday. And you can get your subscription online at midlandcenter.org/subscribe. But we are so excited to be having Six, which is the pop musical and a retelling of the stories for the 6 wives of King Henry VIII. We have Mrs. Doubtfire. You probably remember the movie.
Yeah, sure.
That starred Robin Williams. So this is a feel-good comedy musical. It's a great show, and that's part of our season next year. We're going to have Blue Man Group coming back. So when we talk about great percussion shows, we talk about paint and splatter.
Yeah.
All of that is in Blue Man Group. It's a fantastic show. That will be next season. And then our final show in our Broadway season next season will be Shut. And this is a big-hearted, corny musical that is written by Nashville and country music artists and has been a hilarious show filled with dad jokes and just a great night out at the theater.
Can you buy these packages as flex packages where you can use them as you need to?
Yeah, right now we are just doing season subscription or season packages. So you can buy just one of these or all of these series as part of a subscription together. And then we will have single tickets going on sale later this summer. So stick back and look at our website or our social media channels to find more information about when those single tickets go on sale. But we don't have a flex pan right now where you can just pick and choose.
All right. Well, give everybody the website again.
midlandcenter.org.
All right. Well, Josh, look, I appreciate you spending the time with us this morning.
Thanks so much for having me, Art. It's always good to talk to you.
All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, sir.
Josh Holliday from the Midland Center for the Arts. We thank him for joining us this morning and filling us in on what's happening at that great institution in this region. I mean, it's one of many. Obviously, we are blessed with a lot of wonderful, wonderful organizations like that in this area. We will take a break, come back, and move on to Focus, tell you what's ahead.
Hi, it's
this morning, and he's ready to tell you about the region and the state, bring you up to date. After the news, we'll be back with Focus here on WSGW. Stick around. We'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Broadcasting from the